everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva, and today I'm going to show you some really fun technique using the Rainbow Glimmer Paper. Isn't this pretty? Goes a rainbow effect from yellow through to green. Really pretty. And then the Foam Adhesive Sheets. Both of these are brand new in the new annual catalog. I was so excited when I saw these Foam Adhesive Sheets because I've been itching to do this technique for a while. So I'm glad you could join me. Let me start by showing you a card that I made using this technique. Sorry, I'm just going to make sure I can see who's on. And let's see. Okay, there we go. I think I should be able to see now. Okay, and I'm just going to reduce the sound so you don't hear the echo. Okay, I think we're ready. All right, so this is a card I made earlier. So this is the stamp set is Way to Goat. I just loved it. When I saw it, I had to buy it. My husband has been talking about wanting to buy a goat since we moved to Ladysmith, and so I had to get this one. So on this card, I stamped the goat in Tuxedo Black Memento ink, and I colored it using my Stampin' Blends, just the smoky slate. I think the smoky slate colors. And then I'll show you how to do this, but these are popped up using this happy, popped up using the Foam Adhesive Sheets, and I cut it out using the Playful Alphabet Dies that are also new in the catalog. And this birthday is cut out using the Well Written, I think it's called, dies. And then I just stamped. This was the stamp set includes a stamp that says "Happy Birthday, You Old Goat," and I just stamped I stamped it and then cut out the "You Old Goat," and on the inside it says "You're the goat, greatest of all time," and then some cans. So really cute card, and I just love how you can cut out these alphabets. Now, they say the Foam Adhesive Sheets work best with open dies, so I wasn't sure how it was going to work with this birthday sentiment, but it actually cut out just fine. I did have to be a little careful with it when I pulled it out, but what I did is I peeled the back off, punched the open areas. I see I've missed one. Punched the open areas out, but I actually had the die left on it. Put it down, and then I carefully picked off the die. And I used my Take Your Pick tool because it works really well to be able to get the little pieces out. Okay, so let me show you how to do it. For this card, I'm going to use the Blossoms in Bloom stamp set and coordinating dies. Now this one comes with two big dies. What I'm going to do is cut out this die that makes, I've got one cut out here already, makes an outline. This thicker die you can use underneath it, but I'm going to stamp. So you have the option of stamping to put underneath this or using the big die and cutting out another piece of another color. But I'm going to use this one. So, all right. And then the other things I'm going to use are, like I said, these are the Playful Alphabet Dies. And they come, I don't know how many pieces are in here. 58 pieces. I know there are multiples of some letters that are common. So I know there's 2 A's. There were 2 P's for the happy. So when I actually stamped or cut it out, I didn't have to cut one and then wait for the other one. I actually cut happy all together. So it makes it really handy so that you don't have to do that. So this card, this is going to be a thank you card. So let me show you how to do it. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp. I'm using bright colors to go along with the Rainbow Glimmer paper. So my card base is crushed curry. Put it off to the side. I've got a piece of melon mambo. Just to be a little peak of melon mambo, and then Whisper White. So I'm going to put thanks down this one side, and I'm going to only put half of this on. So when I get it, I'm going to actually cut it out. Okay, so let's do the stamping first. Put this off to the side. I have my ink pad here, so I'm going to use Melon Mambo. Hey Sharon, thanks for joining. All right, so I'm going to ink up my paper. Now I'm going to test this. I don't know how juicy my ink pad is, so I'm just going to test this. Only because I had planned to stamp off, and so if my ink pad isn't very juicy, I may not have to stamp off. So no, it's perfect. I don't have to stamp off. But when I finish this Facebook Live, I will definitely have to ink up my piece of something there. Let's take that off because that will definitely show in on the flowers. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I just want to make sure I've got this going the right way. I want it to go this way, so I believe that's, yes, okay. So there is a right, well, not necessarily a right and a wrong way, but a right and upside down way. Okay, so I'm only going to stamp, let's see, I want to leave enough room. So I'm just going to stamp so this is off the paper a little bit. There. Perfect. Okay, so that's my card. So when I get this one cut out, it's going to actually go over top like that. All right, so I want to add, let's put this away. I get my fingers in it. All right, I've got the center, so there is a dotted centers of this, and I'm going to stamp them in crushed curry. All right, that's crushed curry. Now I also have a leaf here. I'm just going to put a few leaves on in Granny Apple Green. Oh, which way do they go? It probably goes like that. So if this goes like this, I'm just going to try and figure out where the leaves are. So there's a leaf here. So I'm going to stamp off so it's a bit pale. I'm going to put a leaf in there. It's not going to match up exactly, but I'm okay with that. And there's a leaf here. Oh, it's so pretty. And then there's a leaf down in this kind of corner here. I think that's it for the leaves. Yep. Let me put another one here just to there. Okay, so that's it for the leaves. So that's all the stamping that I'm going to do on this card. Close this up. My next step, I'll set this aside. I'm going to bring my big shot in. Not to shake the table too much. Okay, so the next step is to take a piece of melon mambo. So I've cut this melon mambo to be 4 1/4 by 5, I believe. Oops, no, that's not the piece. I've cut this piece to be 4 1/4 by 11 inches, so that's just half of the card stock. And then I'm going to take my die and just place it on here and run it through. Oh, hang on, I lost my other plate. Here it is. Over at my big shot station where it normally is. Okay. So we'll just run this through. Now, I tend to run them through a couple of times. I'm just going to stand up here, forwards and backwards, just to make sure it cuts through. Alright, now this one makes quite a mess because you get all of these pieces. Let's take that out. Take these pieces off. In the garbage. Alright, so now this is my flower, and I'll punch all those out in a minute. So then the other piece that we're going to cut out at the same time is using the glimmer paper. So I actually am going to use the ombre effect between the yellow, the yellow and the pink. So what I want to do is I've taken a piece, let's see, taken a piece of the foam adhesive sheets. They are here somewhere. Oh, here they are. They come in packages of, let me see, there are 6 sheets. They're 4, oh gosh, the measurements, 4 9/16 by 4 3/8, but they're not really big pieces, but I did find that it just worked. I don't want to adhere this big piece because I may not use it on the Rainbow Glimmer paper again. So I actually have got a piece here that I cut off, and I'm just going to take this and stick it underneath where I want my, so roughly I want the, it sticks down good. So I want it to cut the thanks out where there's some gradation or variation in color. And then I'm going to take the dies, which are here, and I'm going to pull out the thanks. So as I said, they say they work best with, they're all stuck down, with open dies. I haven't tried a die that is really detailed, but it would be interesting to see what happens. And then just make sure that I get it on the foam, so then it can just, you don't have to worry about lining them up exactly because there's the H, because you're really just cutting them out, and we're going to then peel them off and stick them onto the card all separate anyway. So, but roughly get the right amount of color change. If you were doing this on cardstock, you actually wouldn't have to worry about this step to figure out where it is, as long as it is on the foam. And that's what I was just checking. All right, so there. Now I've got to find my K. It's got to be here somewhere. There it is. The one thing to note is I think 6 letters is about the maximum that you could put down a card, down the side of a card that is the portrait size. There isn't enough room. So I did kind of do the calculation. These dies are 3/4 of an inch, and then I was figuring just a little bit, 1/8 of an inch or so. They are stuck really well to this paper. About 1/8 of an inch. Oops, maybe I should go the right way. 1/8 of an inch apart, and then a little bit at the top and a little bit at the bottom. So I think 6 letters is about the most that I could get down my card base. All right, so then I'm going to just put those up to the side gently so I don't move this too much. And then I'm going to run this through. Again, I run it forwards and back just to make sure it cuts through. And I did find earlier when I was playing with them, it cut through quite nicely, but you can always check by just flipping this over. Yeah, and I think I'm going to run it through again and just to make sure that it's cut. How many of you are excited about the new stamp and cut and emboss machine, or stamp and emboss and cut machine? It's cut and emboss. I am so excited. I can't wait to replace my Big Shot. Okay, so let's put the Big Shot off to the side for a minute. Okay, so then what you want to do is you can just peel the letters off, put them so I don't lose them. So, okay. All right, so the next thing I want to do is I actually am going to emboss this using the texture the new texture embossing folder, just to give it a little bit of dimension. So I'm just going to take this off to the side, and because I've moved my Big Shot now, and so before I stick my letters down, I'm just going to emboss that. I've sandwiched together, and then I'll just run it through on camera. Oops. Love this. It's just so pretty. I don't know if you can see. It just gives it a really nice texture. Okay. So you can use your take your pick tool to punch the pieces out. So we don't need these. And there are all sorts of little holes in this one, but I'm going to take it off of here first. There we go. So you want to poke all these little pieces out. It does take a little bit to do that. But it does cut nicely. If you run it through a couple of times, it cuts really nicely through. And remember, I'm actually going to cut some of this off, but just because I'm not sure where it's going to be cut off. All the little pieces. There we go. Two more. Gosh, there's lots. All right. These go away. I think I've got them. All right, let's just put these off to the side. All right, so this actually should line up. Yeah, there we go. Lines up quite nicely. And I really like the effect of the stamped off. I think it's a distinctive stamp. It definitely has that look. So it gives you a really nice color gradation in it, and then adding in okay, I'm going to put I need one more leaf as I'm looking at where my leaves lined up. Okay, just stamp that off and we'll just put a leaf there. Alright, so the way that you can adhere this down is you could use adhesive sheets, or I just take some of my Tombow multi-purpose adhesive glue. And now, I've told you this before if you've been on my videos, I am terrible with glue. I get it all over the place, but I find if I just take a little bit, and you don't need much to make this stick, so I tend to just put little dots on it here and there. That way I don't get this splotch of glue that comes out and I have to try and clean up and deal with. But I just make sure I've kind of got little dots of glue on most parts of the card, or sorry, most parts of the die piece. And that will be enough to adhere it. Now, and remember, we're going to cut part of this off, so let's take it and put it roughly on where it lines up, like that. Pretty good. Okay, and press it down. And then take your snips, and I usually do it from the back so I can see, and just cut that extra piece off. Alright, so if you've got a piece that is sticking up a little bit more than you want, you can just take your glue and put some on just to hold that part down. There we go. Okay, now the last part of this is I'm going to pick up my letters up my letters, and the sticky side is already exposed. Now I'm not going to press these hard down in place, because once you get them down they're hard to lift up, but I'm just going to, actually I'm going to start with the top and the bottom letter, so I'll start with the T and the S just to get them spaced. Like I said, there really won't be much space between them, so that I can get all of the letters on. So there's the T and the S, and then I can put my H down, and this one's going to go over top of the flower, but that's okay. Now the A, you want to make sure you take the middle of the A out. Oops, get it straight. I love these little alphabet dies. Lots of uses for them. And N, I think I just have room for the K. Like I said, I think 6 is the maximum. Well, actually, I know 6 is the maximum you will get on a card like this. You probably can get more if you turned your card this way. But all right, so that's my thanks. So I glue. All right, so now I've got the rest of my card base here. So I'm going to adhere this with some more, my Stamp and Seal. Light touch on the Stamp and Seal. You don't need to press really hard on it. And so on this piece I cut. So my piece with the flower is cut at 4 inches by 5 1/4, and then the Melon Mambo piece I cut at 4 1/8 inch by 5 3/8. Okay, and then I'll just fold my card base in half. Bone folder. And then I'm going to adhere this down like that. Alright. Okay, so that's my card. Now I have a inside piece that I was just going to, so there's a whole bunch of sentiments and other flowers. So I was just going to take some of these other little flowers and I'm actually just going to put them both on the same block, and I'm just going to put these in the corner like that. One more, I'll just ink that one up like that, and then my center will do in crushed curry. That's an awfully big center. Let's use the solid center. Small block. Alright, oops, caught it on my finger. There we go. And we'll just use that as the center. Alright, now I think that's all. I'm going to use this to write a note in, so I won't actually do any more stamping in it. We'll just leave lots of room for writing something to whoever I'm going to send this to. Alright. And this down. There. Okay, so that's the card. See how easy that was to use those foam sheets and then really get a really cool effect of popping it up. And they are don't know if you can see, they are shimmery. So not only, it is a rainbow glimmer paper, so you do get the shimmer from it. And that's the inside. So I'll bring in this other card that I did earlier with the way to goat and the happy birthday. Really cool effect. Makes it very easy to adhere, to cut out your letters, your whatever you're cutting out. I'm going to try it with some, you know, like the goat, for example. Sorry, not the goat, but something that I can cut out using a die, a flower or something, and pop it up. Yeah, I think that's really pretty. So I think one more. Sorry, let's put something because it's glimmery, and I think I need some more glimmer on it. So let's use some of these. These are the elegant faceted. So maybe we'll put them as centers on these flowers that don't actually have color behind them, just to give it a little bit of pop. And then one more somewhere else, because I like to have three. Now where can I put that? Maybe not. We'll just do two. All right, so there's my card. Hope you enjoyed it. If you're at all interested in learning more about the dies or putting an order in, you can go to my website, stampingwithmelva.com, and the hostess code is here. But if you need that, just reach out to me and I'm happy to give it to you. Thanks very much for joining, and hope you like my card. Bye, everybody.